What's up, guys? This is Chris here. I'm live streaming after like the first time in absolutely forever. It's good to be back. I did a bit of a live stream yesterday for the All-Star Comic Book Stay Away Comic Book Day event that they did, and man, it was a blast. So I decided that I want to do this again. And see if I can do this regularly again. Maybe one stream a week, just to start off with. Schedule gets a bit crazy, but with lockdown, things are all over the place. So, just giving it a shot. I'm home alone today, so why not do some drawing? I'm going to try and keep this a bit fun, keep it like sort of educational in a way. So if you guys have questions, want to ask any questions at all, go for it. I'm going to be doing some fan art. I have a huge list of characters which I've set up, and I'm going to show you guys now, which is here. So I've got like 117 different entries here on the list. Every time I do a session, I'm just going to hit the list, and we're just going to draw whatever comes up. For the sake of today, I'm just going to do a quick stream, like an hour or something. So probably just going to do like a headshot, but here we go. Alright, so let's see what we end up with today. Kraven. Nice. Alright, cool. So we're going to do Kraven. This is going to be a bit of fun. Let's just pop that up here so we know what we're drawing. The first thing we're going to do while we do this is I'm actually going to go back here, and we're going to do a little bit of research and just have a look and see if we can find some pictures, a bit of reference, just so we know what the guy looks like. So I'm just going to leave this up because there's plenty of reference here that I can look at, just so you guys know what I am using as reference. And let's bring it back to here because I'm sure you don't want to just see random pictures of Kraven. So let's do it. Alright, headshot. So I'm just going to turn the page around this way. For this setup, I've just got my iPad connected to my computer so you guys can just watch when I'm drawing. Hopefully that works. It might be a bit laggy, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so let's start off. We're going to do Kraven. So we want to do a really loose sketch. So generally, when I'm drawing, I'm very loose with my layouts. This, as you can see, this is super messy, which is fine. The bonus of doing digital, I've been trying to actually do a lot more traditional work, just for the sake of practice and study and whatnot. But for the sake of these live streams at the moment, because I don't have an external webcam to set up with yet, I'm just going to do this digitally. So I'm just going to work in Procreate. I can probably get rid of that text down there. So yeah, this is good to anyone who's using Procreate as a artist themselves, or they're just learning and whatnot. You can ask me some questions. I am by no means an expert on it. I can direct you to people who are a little bit more knowledgeable about it, but I do use it quite regularly, so I'm sure I can offer a few tips here and there if you want them. Cool. So, got a basic idea of just what he's going to look like, at least, just in that standard pose. Let's build up on that. So, just going to draw in some loose details here. Like I said, nothing too detailed. This is just so I've got an idea. He's got that really crazy coat with the fur. So I'm just going to sort of block that in roughly where that's going to sit. His little necklace there. Cool. So what I'm going to do from this point is I'm actually going to drop the opacity down here, because now I've got that really rough sketch, that's going to work as my base, and I'm going to build up on that. So this is going to change as I'm working. I'm going to get a little bit more detailed here in what I'm drawing. Just building up some bit more foundation for this character. Nice big strong jawline there. This is his head. Ears sitting center. Center line for his face. So I do apologize if I go a little bit quiet while I'm drawing. Sometimes I just sort of get stuck concentrating. That's just how I do. But if you guys, if anyone's watching and wants to throw in some comments in the chat, feel free to. So for anyone watching back on this, like I said, I'm going to intend to do more of these. I'd like to do them daily, if you know, that would be pretty cool. But at the moment, not entirely feasible, just as I have other work to do. But if, you know, schedule clears up and whatnot, I'd definitely love to. But if there's like a particular day that works best for everyone, I'd love to try and sort of factor that in to how I choose which day to stream. So this is actually the first time I've ever drawn Kraven, so this is slightly intimidating, and I'm really worried that I'm not going to do it justice, but just have to see what happens, I guess. Alright. Knock that one out. So you can see I've just done a slightly tighter version of that layout here. So now I'm going to try and start adding some details and fleshing it out a little bit, and hopefully I can do this dude some justice. It's always a little bit intimidating drawing a character I've never drawn before, but that was kind of the whole point of doing that wheel as well, because it forces me to do characters I wouldn't normally do, and I love the idea of doing the live streams. It makes me a little bit more accountable for whatever the wheel brings up, you know, like if people will see it, I can't just go, oh no, I don't like that, I'm not going to do it. I kind of just have to. Whereas if I just did like a regular video, I would have to, I could be a little bit cheeky and just pretend that it never happened. Can't say I'm entirely happy with where this is going at the moment, but just trying to keep the pencil moving and not care too much. Again, I'm working digitally, so the opportunity to just sort of make those corrections and whatnot, you know, so easy. Usually if I'm working traditionally, I am a lot slower. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. Hey Jeff, thanks for jumping in, man. I'm drawing Kraven. Hopefully. Hopefully it works out. sure it'll all come together towards the end. But... yeah, I've never, like I was saying before, I've never drawn Kraven, so I'm feeling intimidated drawing this. But in saying that too, I do like that there's a bit of a challenge aspect behind it for that sake, so just forcing myself out of my comfort zone and drawing things I'm not used to. Some of my settings have been messed up because my daughter has been playing with my iPad, which is okay, I don't mind. I'd rather her just hang out on it, but sometimes I find things are not as I left them. Yeah, man, these are like the challenge stuff is definitely very fun. It's always daunting though, so I always psych myself out of actually ever doing them. So I'm definitely up for this challenge, but I don't know, nervous about how this is going to turn out. I'm not thrilled so far, to be honest. I think my downside at this stage is trying to do it quickly rather than being a bit more like taking my time like I normally would. Just so I can see which way it's going. To be honest, there's no real need to get it done quick, I guess. I think just being on a live stream, I just want to sort of keep the pencil moving rather than sort of stagnating, I guess. I'm going to come back in and just reassess a few bits on this piece. It's not overly happy. Yeah, trying to just be on for an hour at least this time, because this is my first time back to streaming in the longest time. So this is kind of like a test stream, I guess, just to see how it goes. So yeah, it'd be good if I could just try and aim to get a finished piece done in an hour. Well, that's probably not a bad thing if I don't. I'm quite happy just doing a bit more of a chill drawing, but I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like I should try and work up to getting a finished piece done. Hope you're doing well, by the way, Jeff, man. Congrats again on your new Avengers book. I still haven't had a chance to read it, but like I said to you the other day, it looks fucking dope, so. Are you working on anything at the moment, man, or are you all wrapped up now on Avengers? Nice, man. Can't wait to see how this book goes. It was pretty badass seeing that final page with the big reveal with all of the suits. You absolutely nailed it, dude. Let's see. Some nice big handlebar mustache here. Just looking at the reference online, there's a whole bunch of like sort of variations on his facial hair, so I'm just sort of going to go a bit of a mixture of both, a bit of the handlebars and the soul patch. Should do it. I like that. Yeah, man, I don't envy you having to draw those insane designs. But yeah, you definitely make it look easy if that's any consolation. Are they actually doing toys based on this series? Because I've seen they've got the toy covers, which are pretty dope, but are they just renders, or are they actually going to be making toys of these things? For anyone else watching, there's no idea what I'm talking about. Chumba, who's in the chat, is currently working on Avengers Tech-On, which just came out on Wednesday. Issue 1, it's like a 6-issue miniseries with him and Jim Zub. Definitely worth picking up if... just definitely worth picking up. It's even I don't read Avengers at all, but it's a fun romp and the art is amazing. And they're going to have action figures. Awesome. Being the artist, do you maybe get some sneaky toys for free, or do you have to buy them like the rest of us? That's a bummer, man. I know you love your toys too, so that would have been pretty awesome. Well, at least the bonus being a comic artist, you can write them off, man. All right. Definitely starting to feel a lot happier about this piece now. Yeah, that must be fun working with Jim Zub, man. I love the work that he's done, like especially with all his D&D stuff. Dude's a beast, creatively. So for anyone else watching, you probably noticed that I just drew the necklace first before I drew these teeth in. The whole idea of this is just drawing through. So when I come into the inks later, I understand where. Where this string actually runs through the teeth here. So just for an example, so I'll just rub that out. I can see that the string's going to run through there. So when I ink it later, that line, again, this line here, maintains consistency all the way throughout, rather than trying to draw those lines individually and pretending that I know where they go. It's not really a trick or anything, it's just a little method that I learned along the way. Works great with like things like t-shirts and stuff too. Just good practice. And a few details on his teeth. Thinking at this stage I'm just going to go black and white for this guy and just really render it out, because I am loving just black and white work at the moment. So for those just tuning in now, I'm just going to jump through to my browser here, show you guys. So this is the wheel that I'm using. So it's like a big fan art wheel of different characters. I've saved this so I know which ones I have and haven't done. I'm also going to keep track of them, of what type that I draw, just so I can just have a slew of things to draw in the future. So whenever I do a live stream, I'm just going to pick a random character from here. If you have any suggestions for characters, throw them in the comments and I'll add them to the list if they're not already there. That way it just adds to it and it gives me a reason to draw all the time, and I might end up drawing one of your favorite characters. So yeah, if you're interested, chuck your favorite character in the comments and I will add it to the list. Hey Abe, good to see you, man. Thank you. Do that loose because I'll render that out later. Alright, so this is where I'm at the moment. I'm going to jump in and now just do the inks. And that's probably where I'll leave it once I finish. So this is just going to be a cool little black and white piece. But I'm going to really render it out. So it's going to be a lot of feathering and things like that. So, quick drink. Let's do this. Knock the opacity back up there. If anyone curious too, this is the drawing pen that I use. I actually use it for everything. I don't use like any pencil brushes or anything in Procreate. I just use this the whole time. So this is my Ink in Tech pen. Here are my settings. Very basic. So for anyone who wants to replicate that, you can just pause it and copy it. From memory, I think this was just the Tech pen, and I have altered it slightly to how I like it. And whenever I'm drawing, I just knock the opacity down. So when I'm sketching, I still get those nice tight lines, and the color just sort of builds up. And then when I come into inking, I just bring in my bring that opacity back up, and I get those nice heavy blacks. I like it. It's set to streamline at 52%, so it still gives me some of those nice, really smooth lines, but not too heavily. So everything's not completely sort of manufactured in that smooth line. So I still have that little bit of personal control over it, I guess. But you'll see as I'm going along. And I can get some really nice tapered lines with it as well. Used to be a time where I would just have to go back in and adjust those lines, like erase them to get those nice points. But with this one, I find that I build up more than I have to cut away, which is nice. Also find too that sometimes I do change the brush size, but not very often. If I'm careful enough with my the pressure that I put down on the pen, I can still get a fair bit of control with it. Leave that open there. it's all about that brush, man. If you can just adjust those settings to like the resolution of your document as well makes a huge difference. Sorry, I should address just in reply to Abe about saying he gets pixelated looks on his iPad. Like, where are we at? So if I have a look at my canvas info, so it's a 300 DPI. I'm just using the A4 dimension, so 210 by 297 mil. So still pretty high resolution, so I can zoom in quite a bit and get some details in. But once it's sort of at 100%, those pixels smooth out. Another thing, like too, with inking, a lot of people, I always tend to get compliments on my inking work, which I'm super grateful for, but it hasn't come without a lot of hard work in between. So I'm just going to open up a new layer. Like, I've spent so much time just practicing lines, just trying to get straight lines, nice tapers, cross-hatching. Like, my sketchbooks are filled with that sort of junk, because I guess I want to, you know, I want to be really good at inking. I want my lines to look really nice, and I want to understand how to control my tools as best as possible. So the only way to do that is to practice with them. Doesn't always have to be drawing characters or buildings, just drawing lines and shapes to understand your tools and to build muscle memory. So when you come into drawing, you don't have to think so much about the line going down. You just have to, or you don't have to think about the actions you need to make. You just need to follow the guides of your sketch. Abe just said, I'm bad at filling up sketchbooks. Yeah, I used to be for a while. It's just sort of like anything that you want to build as a habit. My dog's heard something. Yeah, I mean, sketchbooks aren't for everyone. I know a few people who have sketchbooks and, you know, they just never fill them. I know some people just don't own sketchbooks at all, and they just draw on either loose paper or on their computers or whatever. I suppose it doesn't really matter what it is. Just try and put aside some time to practice. Another thing I always talk about, I don't do it as often as I preach it, but warming up, like doing those same methods, like just drawing lines, drawing shapes, whatever, before you actually start drawing, just to sort of warm up your hands. Sort of in that same vein, like if you were going to play sports, you know, you wouldn't do it without warming up because you're going to pull a muscle. Sort of the same thing, just warming up those hands, getting that muscle memory working for you, and then dive in. It doesn't have to be like an hour of sketching. It's just 5 minutes of loosening up. And be amazed what you can learn as well. How long have we been going for? Doesn't actually tell me. Oh yeah, okay, so we started at like 1:13, so we're nearly in an hour. Cool. Jeff, Jeff said, I fail there. I don't own a sketchbook, nor do I warm up anymore. And I can't imagine you ever having the need to warm up. You draw that often. Like surely by this point, like once you put that pencil down, your body just knows. So yep, time for work. Let's do this. I've been trying to switch up my sort of sketchbook usage to doing more comic stuff in there, like just doing like random one-off stories and things, but I'm just failing at it. I just can't I can't seem to put together any stories sort of on the fly. Everything's always going to be planned out, so by the time I actually do anything, it sort of evolves beyond a single page in a sketchbook, so it never happens. And then I never have time to actually, you know, develop those stories otherwise, so I do not like that. I'll take that back. Let's be a little bit more sparing. That's a bit nicer. I imagine you're pretty busy, Jeff, but if we ever get out of this friggin' lockdown, we should definitely try and catch up and do some do a sketch session, get some random sketching in. That would be pretty badass. It's been too long. Not that it's necessarily been our fault with lockdowns and all that. Yeah, man, I miss sketch sessions so bad. I was talking about, I think it was Marty I was talking about with them last time I spoke to him. So obviously he hasn't been to one in a long time. Hey Crystal, thank you. Appreciate the kind words. Current lockdown. Well, I think Thursday night is meant to be the last night for us here in Melbourne, but I just saw there's 25 active cases today, new active cases. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes that we're going to be out, knowing how Victoria handles these lockdowns. Given how bad New South Wales is, we obviously don't want to encourage any potential increases in cases, so I don't know. Definitely getting over it, but also appreciating that I haven't caught COVID yet, so that's nice. Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, it does sort of have that nice vector line look, doesn't it? But no, this is all raster in Procreate. I also apologise about the sniffing. The hay fever today is very strong. It's so windy here and it just pollen all in the air. It's horrible. Yeah, Jeff, you're absolutely right, man. We were kicking goals this year, right up until, was it the 5th lockdown we ended up in about a month ago? Like, it almost felt like this pandemic wasn't even existing for us. It was crazy how hard it sort of hit so quickly, and everything just changed back to, these lockdown rules. But I don't know, when I'm out, I don't feel like many people are really adhering to the lockdown rules, which I totally understand. I don't sympathize, but I understand why people are tired of it. But it's just going to make it go for longer and longer if people just keep ignoring it. Yeah, sorry, man. Fortunately, it just seems like there's just a lot of people out there who just don't like to listen to rules. It's like those naughty kids back in primary school, they'd muck up in class and just ruin it for everyone else. And everyone else faces the consequences. Just talking about what I'm going through here. So I've done most of just the mainline work. I've left the hair and the, I guess you would call this like a mane on his jacket, because I'm going to do a lot of feathering there for the detailing of that. So I've left that to last. And what I'm probably going to do, because I have the luxury of working digitally, I'm going to do those on a separate layer so I can work over some of the other lines to create a bit more of a natural look to them, and then I'm just going to erase everything else, so you'll see as I'm going along with that one. So you can see now here is where all that drawing through is going to come into play. So I'm using those original guides now in the inking stage to see how everything fits in, so I can make that nice consistent line. is about feathering lines, but they are just so enjoyable to create. Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't been on YouTube in a very, very, very long time. Obviously, you would have seen I've done a lot of videos a few years back, and I took a huge break. Just life got a bit insane for me. So yeah, hoping to make a bit of a comeback now and be a bit more regular on here. So I hope to see you around a bit more. And thank you for joining. Alright, time for those details. One of the things I'm going to do here, just sort of thinking ahead before I go to inking this, is I'm going to try and just keep this as natural as possible, leave some of these lines a bit open. Whereas you can see most of the stuff here, all the lines join up, everything's sort of closed off. Here I'm going to be a little bit more free with how my lines join. As you can see, I'm drawing over the original lines here, but all of these are on a separate layer, so I can just turn those off and on, and once I'm done, I'll tidy all of that up. At the moment, I'm just a little bit more concerned about just trying to make this look as natural as possible. Just bringing those nice feathered lines in to create some nice form. Just like that. Tidy up. Awesome, Jeff. Thanks for hanging out, man. Really appreciate it. And enjoy that lunch. Cool. So you can see how that's forming now. Just using those nice feathered lines. What's the time? Alright. So I should finish this just over an hour, so that's pretty good. For anyone interested, I'm going to be putting this, the high-res version of this up on my Patreon. So if anyone wants to download this and color it, they'll be able to do so there. So thankfully with Procreate I can save as a Photoshop file, so I'll save it there. Not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for some rich heavy blacks in these in art. Yeah, that's looking real nice. I'm just gonna tidy up this side just to see how it's looking, and then I'll finish off the rest. Like I said, feel free if you want to throw in some questions in the chat, go for it. That's right. Drop the opacity there so I can actually see where they cross over, instead of trying to just blindly erasing them. There we go. I'll leave that section there, I'll fix that up when I do the hair. Sure. Boom. Let's just drop the those red lines for a second. Yeah, cool. Looking real nice. So once I've done these feathered lines, I'm probably going to come back in afterwards and do a little bit more detail for the rest of the picture, just to try and make it look a little more natural. I mean, Craven is a like a hunter, so he's not sort of going to be without his little scuff marks and whatnot. Thanks Crystal, thanks for dropping in. So just trying to work to my strengths here. You'll notice that I am constantly rotating the canvas, you know, the artboard here. That's because, so when I draw, obviously you can't see, you can just see the lines as they're going down, but I naturally draw left to right. So to maintain that nice flow, I like to try and keep my hand moving that way. So I just adjust the canvas to do that. One of the exercises I do, I was talking about before, just sort of exercising and practicing, is I am trying to do a little bit more working right to left, just to build up the muscle memory there, but I haven't quite gotten to a point where I'm really confident with those lines yet. So in the sake of finishing a piece, still sort of just using those old habits. But I'm working on it. Cool, it's really coming together now. it's funny sort of looking back when I first started working on this picture this morning or this afternoon. I really wasn't happy with how those sketches were looking, but then spending that time, it was Jeff sort of jumping in and questioning me why I was working so fast. Definitely threw me back, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll just sort of slow down and take it from there, and I did, and now I'm really happy with it. So thank you, Jeff. But one of the things I do forget, one of the things that really stunts me when I'm drawing is I really struggle sometimes with those initial sketches not looking good, and it makes me just feel, I guess, inadequate, and it makes me stop drawing. So pushing past that, trying to go, okay, let's just keep working this idea until it gets to a point that I like, can often be very hard. So I'm glad I made it this far. And like I said before, being on these live streams too, it makes me a little bit more accountable. I just sort of got to push past that lack of confidence and finish the piece. Alright. Nice big wavy lines. Just drawn these two big lines here because I'm going to use them as my point of reference for the motion of this mane. And I'm going to use that for the rest of my lines to sort of curve around. Happy with that bit. I'm just going to fix that up in a second. There's a check code. Cool. Alright. It's definitely taking a little bit of work, but we're nearly there. just going to thicken up some of these blacker areas. I'm actually going to redo that bit. Hey, Ox. How are you, man? So good to see you, dude. I hope you are well. It has been so long. Alright, that's that side done. Let's clean it up. Drop that opacity again. My dog is looking at me right now, wondering why I'm talking to myself. Thank you, man. And likewise too, I've been watching you, all your painting that you've been doing. Just smashing it, dude. I hope you're doing well, man. I know your life's been a little bit sort of crazy at the moment, so big love sending out to you, my dude. Alright. There's his pretty little mane. Alright, let's finish this hair up and get this guy done. And have a drink. Actually not looking forward to doing the hair very much. Alright, let's tidy that up first. I'm gonna just drop that down while I do this hair, otherwise it's gonna distract me. Alright, so I'm gonna use these lines to start off with. Very powerful of you, Oxman. Very powerful. Alright, so I'm going to do the hair a little bit different here with the feathering. I'm going to try and just do some like core lines, like these ones. But then in the center, I'm going to try and keep let's just draw some sections away from those lines to create the sense of lighting, I guess. You'll sort of see it as it forms. So I'm just going to draw these sort of core lines to build the base, and everything else is going to sit in between them and not physically touch them. That's the idea, at least. Give that appearance of like the light bouncing off his hair. For free! Man, I'm just doing my thing and talking. Also here too, like these lines down the bottom there, I'm gonna leave them untidy just to apply that perception of just sort of natural hair just sort of placed on the forehead. And how much battery have I got left on this thing? Okay. Oh wait, I didn't even look, I just looked at the time. Okay, 70%. Because I'm a goon, I actually am not plugged in on my iPad. I'm just using the battery to mirror. I don't even know how long the battery's going to last, but it seems to be doing pretty good. Yeah, man, I did take my Patreon down for a while, but it's all back up and running. So the link is in the bio, or in the description, sorry. So I should mention, I said before, this stuff and then anything else I do in the future, I'm going to chuck up. So certain Patreon levels will get like the high-res downloads if you want them. So you guys can just tinker with them. They'll be like Photoshop files. Otherwise, just the high-res JPEGs will be up there for, I think it's like a $2 pledge to start off with. And then I'll be doing some other stuff too. So like some original art and things. Most of it will be for Australian residents, just because postage is insane. But I'm open to discussing postage prices if anyone's interested in, you know, getting some original art mailed to them. Just means it's going to cost a little bit extra, but yeah, good old post. Right, this is starting to look pretty nice. Nearly there. Done. So what I'll do now is I'm going to need to tidy up that mane a little bit because it sits over the hairline. Just erase those lines. Bring that opacity back up. Kaboom! Alright, looking pretty slick. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back in. You can see how many layers this has taken up already. Sort of from that initial sketch. And I'll go through that at the end of the video as well. Thank you, Oxman. I appreciate that. You are a true dude. Thank you very much. That is some tweet loins. Some tweet loins. Shading there. Some shadow. You know what? I don't like that. I'm going to cut that back actually and do just some hatching for that shadow. So time and place for heavy blacks, that was not it. These, however, we'll get some. Yes, all the simple. Gonna be a bit cheeky and just draw through, and then I'm gonna erase those sections. So here I'm just trying to provide the light source. Alright. Cool. Erase those little sections there. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just going to add in some small details just on this, I suppose it's a jacket, just to give the just the idea that it is actually material rather than something sort of clean and, you know, polished, shiny, new. You know, this dude would have been wearing this for quite a while, so I can make it look just a little worn. Well, these lines don't have to be specific, these are just something to make it look aged, I guess. Programs, yeah, so here I'm using Procreate, which I am mirroring to my laptop because I don't have a Mac. So I'm using a Windows PC. I'm mirroring with a free program called Let's View. There are a bunch of like paid ones, and I found this one, so I can just mirror my iPad and just use Procreate, which is awesome. And then I just run that through OBS. And that's how I've done like all the fancy graphics and added the webcam in so you guys can watch me draw. And then I just stream OBS through YouTube. So yeah, pretty easy once I got it set up, but it did take a bit of tinkering to figure out the best setup. Alright, this dude's looking pretty good. A few more age lines. Thank you, dude. Thank you. So yeah, all I'm doing here is just adding in those extra little bit of details. Just polish everything off, I guess. Just changing things that I'm not particularly happy with. Cool. I'm mostly happy with that. Looking a bit evil. Looking like he wants to kill Spidey. Which is what we want. That's his job. And the last thing, which I always forget to do. Done. All finished. Cool. I'm gonna wrap this up. This is the end of the sesh. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group all of those together so we can get rid of that. And let's go through those stages again. So anyone who missed the start, this was the initial sketch of Kraven. Like, this was just like the really loose, rough, just laying down a basic idea. All of this is going to be on Patreon, so if you guys want to see these pictures up close and mess around with them, go for it. The next step is a little bit more refined. Move things around, started adding in a little bit of detail where things are going to go. You can see I started adding a little bit more form in the face. Here, more details, just fleshing out the character a bit more, trying to understand where the facial features are going to sit, how he's going to look, what expression he's going to have. I already had a rough idea, like he's Kraven, so I was got a little bit more brooding, a little bit more mean, I guess. And then these were the type pencils, if you can call them pencils, I guess. Everything I need to know just to understand where all of my inking lines were going to go. So you can see there's absolutely no detail here in regards to where that feathering went. That was all done in the inking stage. And then I'm going to overlay this so you can see it. Not all of those lines made it in. Most of them did. Most of them got adjusted. And then when I remove that, there you go, finished piece. Cool, that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll post a preview pic of this up on Instagram, but if you want the high-res stuff, hit me up on Patreon. The link will be down in the description below. I'm going to try and do more of these, at least to begin with, once a week, every Monday. I can't guarantee I'll do weekends, just because work and family and things. But every Monday, I'll be able to do like a 1.5 hour session. If you've got any suggestions for characters, like I said, I do have this little character spin wheel. So if you guys want to add in a little character into that and add that, add your name in there, and when I spin it, I'll tick it off. I'm going to try and mix it up as well. So like I said, I've got a little bit of a list here. So the intention is that I'll be doing standard character, like a full character, a bust, chibi or headshot. Really sort of depends where I'm at. If you guys want to make requests, you can, but I can't guarantee I will. Here I've just done like the headshot of Kraven, so I'm going to tick that off. But that means there's plenty of opportunities for other things to happen. So today was great because I got to finish a piece. It came out great. I might not always finish them in the sessions, but we'll just see. We'll just play it as it goes and create art. And I'll be here if you guys want to answer questions and things. I will try and schedule these live sessions so you have a bit more notice. like I said, it's been ages since I've done these things, so I'm sort of relearning how to do live streams again. But if I can figure that out, I will, and I'll put those schedules up. So that way I know when I'm doing them and you know when to join in as well. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone who has been chatting, asking questions. I've had an absolute ball doing this, and I cannot wait to do the next one. And just a little secret, the next one will be tomorrow, because for me tomorrow is Monday, that's my day off, and I will be doing another sketch. So if you've got any suggestions for characters, throw them in the comments, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Alright guys, thank you all so much for joining, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.